Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Jax.
And I'm Sassy Jax.
And we're going to walk you through a holiday greeting card I created. First, I pulled out the Paper Studio Holiday Foil 6x6 paper pad that I purchased at Michael's on an 85% off clearance sale about a year ago. I was eager to use some of the papers that were inside, mainly the Be Joyful and Be Merry sentiments. I cut those up and wanted to find a matching paper that could go along with it. First, I pulled out some pre-cut factory half sheets of paper that were scored, and I pulled out my Fisker's bone folder to start folding them on the pre-scored paper. So I pulled out some of the papers that I have been holding on to for over a year, and I got started. Then I cut some decorative holiday paper to 5.5 by 4.25 and pulled out my folded card bases and started arranging the paper how I saw fit. This particular type of sentiment was really easy to make a mass-produced assembly line, so I decided to create 8 cards. This way, I could really knock out quite a few cards in one sitting, and started attaching the decorative paper to the card bases. I used my ATG double-sided tape gun and made sure that the backside of the paper was fully covered, and then slowly lined up the bottom of the paper to the bottom of the fold of the paper and tried to get them straight. By the end of this, I swear, I almost made it straight. I did have to go back and trim some of the decorative paper off of the card base because I did get it crooked. I don't know how many times I have to do this type of thing before I get it straight. Maybe it'll never happen that I get it straight, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect, right? Once I had those all cut and straightened out, I moved on to my favorite part, which is designing the card. I die cut some Tim Holtz snowflake dies that I had in my craft stash out of some glitter paper that I had on hand, and started trying to decide where I wanted to put those snowflakes on the cards. And I kind of had to make sure I had enough. I didn't know if I had to go back to the die cutting machine and create more, but it turns out that I had just the right amount, and I started designing the card.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. A flake of snow, especially a feathery ice crystal, typically displaying delicate six-fold symmetry. Did you know that a snowflake can also be known as a white-flowered Eurasian plant related to and resembling the snowdrop, typically blooming in the summer or autumn?
No, I did not know that.
Well, now you do. The term snowflake has been used to refer to children raised by their parents in ways that give them an inflated sense of their own uniqueness. The Generation Snowflake or Snowflake Generation is a nostalgic term used to characterize the young adults of the 2010s as being more prone to taking offense and less resilient than previous generations, or being too emotionally vulnerable to cope with the views that challenge their own. The term is considered derogatory. It is one of several informal examples of usage of the word snowflake to refer to people.
That doesn't seem very nice.
No. What kind of generation are you?
I think I'm Gen X.
Is that what it is? Let's look that up. The term Generation X has been used as various times throughout history to describe alienated youth.
I don't think that's me.
The term acquired its modern definition after the release of Generation X, Tales for the Accelerated Culture, a 1991 novel written by Canadian author Douglas Copeland.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I did graduate in 1991 from high school.
You're old.
I guess so. Aren't we making Christmas cards? Let's not talk about this stuff anymore.
Well, you started it.
No. Get back to being sassy. I find that the more that I craft, the more I'd rather not watch TV, but maybe watch or listen to other YouTubers creating different types of art so that it inspires me while I'm in the process. But I never really challenged myself to learn more than what I already knew. But learning about Cranes of Hope and how they craft their artist trading cards to give to people battling cancer, it really inspired me to learn as much as I could about paper crafting so that I could create better artist trading cards. Not that I've perfected anything yet, and I don't think I ever would, but I have a really good time doing it, and it keeps me occupied. Stay out of trouble.
Crafters are not in trouble because a lot of their free time is spent crafting and not gallivanting around and doing crazy things.
I guess you have a point.
Merry, cheerful, and lively. Cheerful, cheery, in high spirits, high-spirited, bright, sunny, smiling, lighthearted, buoyant, lively, carefree, without a care in the world, joyful, joyous, jolly, festive, mirthful, gleeful, happy, glad, laughing. The narrow streets were dense with merry throngs of students, on occasion or season characterized by festivity and rejoicing, slightly and good-humored drunk. So, after the third bottle of beer, he began to feel quite merry, quite contrary, which is more of a British thing, but if there's anybody here from Britain, or British place, or wherever the heck you guys are from, I think London, England, Britain, jolly people, when you get drunk, you're merry. Be merry, merry and bright, merry, merry, jolly, jolly, merry, merry, jolly. Jolly, happy and cheerful, encouraging someone in a friendly way, very, extremely, a party or celebration.
One of the problems that I faced is not knowing where to put the be joyful or the be merry on the actual card. But one of the things that I have learned throughout my art education, which isn't very much, but I'm trying. Rule of thumb is to split your card into halves or thirds. Put it in the center if you want to split it in halves, or if you split it in thirds, put it in the very top half, the middle, or the bottom half. These types of designs are more pleasing to the eye. Use way too many colors sometimes. A lot of times the best designs are with 1 or 2 colors, at the most 3, less is more. I don't know. I still struggle with this, but over time I think I'll get a little better at it.
Jolly old Saint Nicholas, do-do-do-do-do, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Don't you know the words of the song?
No, but I'm being jolly. Have a holly jolly Christmas, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Is that another song that you don't know the words to?
Yep.
The most tedious part of this card, I would have to say, was 1, die cutting the snowflakes and making sure that all those little itsy bitsy pieces were popped out of the snowflakes. And then second is trying to put foam tape on the back side of the snowflakes so that they could pop out from the card. And I don't recommend it to anybody. I mean, well, I kind of do because it looks really good, but it's just so much work. So be ready for some tiny itsy bitsy sticky things sticking all over to your fingers. And once I had those designed onto the card, I made sure to trim off the excess decorative paper that was overlapping the card base. Once I got to decorating, this went really, really fast.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Her fleece was white as snow.
That's the wrong Mary.
Mary's my friend. Don't make fun of Mary.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that she's the wrong Mary. It's be Mary, not Mary had a little lamb.
Well, she did have a little lamb.
That's not what I'm talking about. I don't think you're understanding.
You know her. You met her the other day. She has a lamb.
Oh, for God's sakes. Once I got all 8 cards created, I felt really accomplished, and I thought that they looked okay. Even though they're very similar, each one had a different design with the snowflakes, and I really liked it. Thanks for joining me today. I had a really good time creating these pieces, and I hope it inspired you. If you'd like to see other things that I create, consider subscribing, because I'd love to have you as a viewer. Until next time, love you guts. Bye!